Green, Jolly Green, this is Sandy 6. Roger, Jolly's, where are you at?
Max, you're going to have to make this quick because 405 is about 1,600 pounds of gas total.
I guess both survivors are in pretty bad shape.
Jolly, this is Sandy 6 again. What's the deal there now?
The radio mission I was on, that was in April the 5th or 6th of 70, F-4.
Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, he got shot down at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He was a fast fac, but he was en route, making airstrikes on truck parks along Route 7, which was from the Fish's Mouth or Bartholomew Pass over to the PDJ being the Plain of Jars. And during a wet and dry season, they would that would seesaw back and forth. North Vietnamese would try to take advantage of the wet season, and of course, April would be the start of the wet season when the monsoons would start moving in. Well, anyway, he was at 6,000 feet. He pulled off a strike. He made a pass, and then as he was going through 6,000 feet, he got hit by a 37 millimeter, and they bailed out. And so now we have. And of course, when they bail out, you hear these beepers going off. It's over guard, so you can't shut it off. It's there. And so they got a rescue effort going. Sandys went up there to locate the guys that were on the ground, and one of those Sandys got shot down. So now they got 3 people on the ground, and so the rescue helicopters that were up there, they rescued the Sandy pilot after sunset because the guy I talked to said they were nighttime rescue. It was dark, so they picked him up. So then the next morning, they're going to have a first light the next morning to make an all-out effort to get these guys, and they told them to bed down for the night, and so I was home alert that next day. I was home alert low bird, but the first lighters were the north alert. They took off first. They took off at daybreak. So they were up there when the A1s were all up there, and they were trying to prep the area. And they launched us about 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we orbited up there. There were 4 of our 4 helicopters up there. So
when you say prep the area,
yeah, the A1s would be working the area to locate enemy guns, anti-aircraft guns, troop concentration, stuff like that.
Their tactic was to go in and go low and slow and get them to shoot at them.
Yeah, find out to locate where these guns are. Yeah.
That way they could know who they were, where they were,
yes.
And they could neutralize any threat, hopefully.
Right. Yeah.
Or
And the OV-10s generally were target markers, so to speak. They had these rockets that they could fire on usually they were like Willie P or something like that, where you really see locate where the gun was, and those guys are pretty good. Their call sign was Nail. And so the Nails and the A1s up there working, prepping the area. And then they put us primary at 12 o'clock. And the other crew, I don't know if they RTB'd them or what, they might have just stayed up there. Anyway, we were orbiting, we were refueled. Then about 2:15 or so in the afternoon, the A1 said, well, I think we can go in there and try and get in now, And they said they had one gun left. They couldn't get that gun to come up, so the A1 guy, he came up on company frequency, which was FM. And between our aircraft commander and Sandy, they talked things over, and they said he said he could get this guy. He just had to, get him to come up, And so we decided we'll go ahead and go on in there. So we at about 2:17 we started our ingress, and we were 170 knots full speed, going up the stream valley, and we came up on the A1. I could hear him. He said, told us to kill off our airspeed. And when he said that, that's when I kicked the penetrator out the door and started the hoist going down, and I saw the smoke right away. Of course, the pilot, he loses sight of the guy from about 200 feet out or so. So I started giving him hover instructions, the distance to the survivor, and I had the hoist going down full speed, which is 200 feet a minute, and I had the hoist landed right at the guy's feet. All I had to do is bend over, pick it up, put the strap on, and I started yanking him up, and as he was coming up, our co-pilot saw the other smoke off to about the 10, 11 o'clock position, about a quarter of a mile away or so. And so while we were hover taxiing over there, I was bringing the guy, the front seater, which is Alpha, brought him up, got him in the cabin, and then I saw the smoke, started giving hover instructions, and as we were coming over the smoke, I saw these, out of my peripheral vision, I saw these hands moving. And initially I thought it was a bad guy, because he's up here and the smoke is down here, I'm looking at the smoke,
When you said you saw the hands moving, in our conversation earlier, you were describing how hard it was to see someone.
Oh yeah, he's got the green flight suit on, or the tiger stripe. A lot of them wore them, And yeah, that's all you can see because of the foliage that he was in.
So all you saw were some hands at first,
yeah.
and then what happened from that
Well,
point?
I thought the guy was getting ready to pull an AK-47 and getting ready to hose us down, And then I looked closer and I said, "No, that's the guy. Why is there smoke down here?" And he's up there. He must have thrown a smoke, good 75 to 100 feet. And he threw it downhill because he was uphill from where his smoke was, So I ran the hoist down to him and got him on the hoist. And as he was coming up on the hoist, the pilot did a pedal turn to the left and swung the nose around. And I was still bringing him up on the hoist while we were making our egress. I got him in the door and I, put my gun back in place and I started hosing down the ridge lines along our egress route to keep heads down and all that, And it took us from the time we went in till the time we came out, it was 10 minutes. Egress started at 10:17. We egressed at 10:27 or 2:27. So yeah, but it seems longer than that because
I was going to say that 10 minutes has got to feel like when your adrenaline's going, everything slows down a little bit.
Everything slows. Your thinking process increases. Your reflexes, everything, And anyway, we headed back, and the OV-10s and the A-1s and helicopter all formation, flying back to Udorn, And so because these F-4 pilots, they are from Udorn, a triple nickel. And we landed at Udorn there, and of course they had a big reception going there, and I got to talking to one of the guys that was orbiting while we went in. He's my high bird on our flight. He said, Did you see that 37 shooting at you? And I said, no, I didn't see no 37. He said, yeah, he got about 4 or 5 airbursts off before that A1 nailed him,
So they were just waiting for him to open up.
Yeah.
They knew he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, how close was he getting? He said, well, if you had another 3 or 4 shots off, he'd have got you. But he said there was airbursts, following us in.
The combination of the Broncos, and the Sky Raiders, and the Jollies, they made a fantastic team.
Oh yeah.
For rescues.
Oh yeah.
You had your spotter,
Yeah.
and you had the A1 to go in and just muscle the area.
Yeah.
They could take a lot of abuse.
Oh yeah.
And then you guys could move very quickly and efficiently.
Yeah. Well,
Hopefully.
one time, a nice thing about the A1 is he could fly right with you. And there were times when they would just lead the helicopter right to where the guy was. Helicopter A1 would be up front, and the helicopter would be.
I looked over yonder, and what did I see? A big green giant coming after me. He was born one morning in the distant plain, reared in the valley so pleasant and green, stood 50 feet tall above the trees, a big, big giant called the Jolly Green. He could cover a mile in a single stride, towering high in all of his pride. He came swiftly through the jungle of steam to answer the call for the Jolly Green. He would answer a call during day or night, never fearing the enemy's might. Through shell and fire, he'd wade right through to complete the task he was asked to do.